So this is my skincare routine. Just going to explain everything down that I do. When I wake up in the morning, I don't put anything on my face. I use my fingers under the tap, get some water. I just get rid of my eye crusties. Any like spit residue from drooling, I guess. If I do need a good like scrub with water, I have these bamboo pads. They're like makeup wipes, I guess, like little cloths. I just get that soaked in water, and then I use that to wipe off the crusties. And then I go about my day. If I wear makeup, I wear non-comedogenic, non-fragrance, and non-hypoallergenic makeup, especially plant-based. I started using Zui Organics a couple years ago, or I started using Physicians Formula, and if you watched my last YouTube video, you'll know that they discontinued it. So now I'm on Marcel. I apply it on my skin. But yeah, depending on the amount of coverage I want, usually it's a light coverage, so I will apply it with just a disposable makeup sponge. And this probably isn't, I know it's not the best, but just from what I do in the morning, rinsing off my eye crusties, I apply the makeup on the skin I woke up with. I know I should cleanse and tone my skin and apply moisturizer to have the best base of foundation, but I don't do that. I do that on clients and models, but honestly, I don't do that for myself. So I just apply it on the skin that I wake up with. I do know... I don't rub the product in with my fingers. Yeah, especially like with a sponge or a brush. Like, I find rubbing it doesn't leave a good constant finish, and it also irritates my skin. My skin will start to become red if I rub, so I just pat the product on. To take my foundation off, yeah, I use Christina Moss Naturals Gel Cleanser. I'm into gels now because they're not so harsh on your skin. Or, what's it called? I think it is, if I can't afford the Christina Moss Naturals Gel Cleanser, I will use Beauty by Earth. I ordered it off Amazon. It is also a gel cleanser, and it has sea kelp in it. So I'll use that to take off my makeup. My foundation. For eye makeup, I usually just stick with baby shampoo. Or just like an olive oil or almond oil. I'll rub that on my eyes and then gently wipe it off. If I am in a pickle, I'll just use cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. I find washcloths are too abrasive, and I usually just wash twice to ensure all the makeup is off. So with the gel cleansers, I'll rub in the gel, I'll rinse it off, and then I'll do it again. So double cleansing. An example of the olive oil is for my first aid course, I forgot to pack makeup remover, and I had a full face of makeup on. So in the city I was in, I just went to a grocery store because none of the drugstores were open. And I got olive oil, and then I went home, or back to my hotel, and then I rubbed that on my face, and I did use a face cloth to wipe it off. I did that a few times, and it does get your makeup off. It's just a little bit challenging, and it's especially challenging when you have like oil residue on your face. So you just want to make sure you get most of it off. It does work as a moisturizer as well. For the own moisturizer that I make, I rarely use it in the morning just because it's so heavy. But I make my own night moisturizer, which is what I apply after my gel cleansers if I wear makeup that day. It consists of shea butter, jojoba oil, and a couple of drops of tea tree oil. And how I apply it is I get like a pea size the same amount as when I use a gel cleanser, but just a tiny amount of this. I rub it in to warm up the product because it's pretty thick, and then it turns into an oil, and then I just pat that on my face all over. If I rub it in, I find it causes my skin to flush pretty good, so I want to avoid that. If I don't wear makeup that day, I just don't wash my face that day. Like in the morning, I'll wash off the crusties in my eyes, and then if I have a shower that day, like my face will get wet in the shower, but other than that, I don't apply anything. Occasionally, I will use pure rose water to tone my face, either on one of my bamboo pads, or I just spritz it on my face, gently wipe it off, or I just spray it on and let it dry. Every couple weeks, just to give my skin a little bit more love, I guess. I'll use a small amount of all-natural 20% vitamin C anti-aging serum onto my skin and around my eyes before my moisturizer, and that's usually at nighttime. I don't moisturize with the shea butter every night, only on days that I wear makeup. Just want to mention, I usually go for things that have absolutely no fragrance in it. But when I came here in Vancouver in November, I never bought anything from Lush before, and I decided to go in there and just browse around. And I found their Cosmetic Lab moisturizer, and before that I never used moisturizers in the morning, just my own moisturizer at night. Even though this product has fragrance in it, the people there told me it's fragrance from the essential oils that they put in it. I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, a lot of people tell me like Lush is pretty good, and the fragrance in that product hasn't made me break out or anything, hasn't irritated my face, so I've been using that as a moisturizer before my foundation. Yeah, since November, and sometimes I'll just mix half and half foundation and that moisturizer, and then it's like a sheer coverage. Also started getting into their scrubs. Let the Good Times Roll kind of smells like cake batter and popcorn, so that's my go-to. Sometimes I'll use that after my gel cleansers if I wear makeup like all day. I probably use it every three times a week or so. Before that, I never used scrubs at all before I found that, despite all the scrubs I used to use as a teenager, so I didn't feel the texture of my skin. But it makes my skin soft and nice, doesn't break me out either, so that's good.